Hey fellas, Dan Brokos here from Faucet Tactical. I'm here with Chris from Type A.
What's happening?
I get this question a lot, so do they. What is your favorite type of rifle and setup? Well, that is a mystery everybody's still trying to solve. Because I have my personal choice, Chris has his personal choice.
It's the worst question.
It is the worst question ever, but we'll try to answer it the best as we can. One, you're talking about, well, what's wrong with a 9mm or 300 blackout? You know, right tool for the job, but if you're gonna say one is, man, there's not a lot of kinetic energy with a 9mm past 75 yards. 300 blackout is, man, that doesn't tumble like 5.56 inside a house. So, and it's not a long range gun. So, if you want something that you're going to shoot with tactically wise, train, compete, and use as home defense, I'm going to lean towards a very popular caliber, you know, 5.56 223 that's been around for a while that can do all those above. And I'm going to stay away from a 9mm 300 blackout or any type of round out there. One, right now due to ammo, ammo's expensive. And the more popular round is, the cheaper it is. That's my 2 cents on caliber.
I'm with you on it. 9mm's fine. I get right tool for the right job. You know, sometimes you need a hammer, sometimes you need a screwdriver, sometimes you need a scalpel. It's what are you doing with it? If it's a one and done, you can only have one thing. I'm a 5.56 fan. At the end of the day, we all know what this tool is for. 5.56 has been doing that job real well for a long time. It's a very good all-round round. You want to talk about like your setups and stuff too, lengths?
Yeah, and I'd say the next question I get is, all right, so we're down to a 5.56 carbine, gas, piston, what type of gun? I said I don't think it really matters. I just see Type A does a great job of a piston gun with a low profile rail, but there's some people out there that the way that's piston's driven, my rail's this big.
Right.
So I don't think it's a gas piston thing, but I think the next viable thing is these are both 13.7 inch guns, gas driven, but I don't like anything smaller than this because my hand stops out here, and man, I got long arms, and I can maneuver this around vehicles, around barricades, in my house, no problem. This actually sits like this. Actually, the one in the back of my truck has a law folder, but it's a 13.7 inch gun, and I mean that's my everyday go-to blaster. Man, nothing wrong with 14, 16, 18 is a little bit too big for me. I get the question all the time, man, what about a 10-inch gun? Well, I'm not a huge fan of them because of ballistics, but a lot of guys love them. I have one, but my personal opinion, 13.7.
Hey, nothing wrong with a 13.7. I don't know if it's coming through on the video here, but Dan's like slightly larger than me. So
I'm going to lean forward a little bit.
When I pick up this gun and I stretch it out, especially with the buttstock out a little bit, I'm definitely more, you know, it's a little different stance for me. I do like the shorter guns, and you leave something on the table, you know, when you start stepping it down here, you leave something on the table as far as ballistics and capability at range, certainly, but in it, you know, again, right tool for the right job. CQB environment, moving around in and out of vehicles or barricades, stuff like that. For somebody my size, you know, this is real short. This is actually almost useless short, but really cool. But you know, you get into the 10.5, 11.5, 12.5, around this range. That fits my body a little bit better, and I'm going to move around. But you know, if you scale it down, it's probably a 13.7 for Dan. On me. And it just allows me to move it around a little bit better. You know, it's just kind of where it lands. Don't get too wrapped up in, you know, hear everybody's opinions, not everybody, but people that you trust their opinions on, and then figure out what works for you, right? Set the gun up for you, you know, quality products first, and then you find something that fits you and you're comfortable with, and then train. Do you know any good trainers?
I know a couple.
Do you? All right. We'll talk about that.
Pretty good friends.
Yeah, all right. Good to go.
I think that answers, you know, the length, because there is no right answer, I'll tell you that, fellas, and everybody listening to this. But it comes with, hey, the setup. I think at a bare minimum, you look at all these guns up here, and at a bare minimum, I know ones they're using. We have a light with some sort of activation on it, and a quality red dot optic on there. I think that's universal for having something we're far past iron sights, fellas. And there's nothing wrong with a set of iron sights. But,
No, fun to shoot too.
Fun to shoot.
Yeah.
Hey, setup, light. I got iron sights and a red dot. I think that's the bare minimum.
It's
of what
exponentially
you need.
faster. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the red dot. But to your point, I mean, to the point we've been making this whole time, you know, right tool for the right job. You know, this is my pig gun, right? It's totally different. It's got all. It's got a LPVO, you know, but I'm shooting them at night, so you gotta add the equipment that you need for the job, right? It's quite a bit heavier. It's full on.
And there you go.
Yeah.
And you're running LPVO on it.
Right.
So
right.
It's
longer, and I'm short, so you know it's just kind of right tool for the right job. It just hammers it home. So I think that kind of covers that portion of it. What about little whiz bangs and accessories?
Well, man, I know suppressors aren't the easiest to purchase, but I'm a fan of having it suppressed. I think it's safer, better on the ears, especially if you're shooting. I don't have any near neighbors, but if I did, I'm sure they're glad that I'm shooting suppressed. But
Yeah.
I think good quality sling. I love the old doohickey. Doesn't have to be the LFT Type A doohickey. But I'm running a sling swivel, of course a sling, and a tape switch. It's easy to get to. The days of push buttons are gone. So that's my 2 cents on accessories.
I'm with you on the tape switch. I don't think it's even arguable at this point. I think having the tape switch where your support hand is going to land is a foregone conclusion. That's where it should live. Get there. If you have a flashlight, you can limp into it. You can, there's a lot of options out there. There's a lot of great options. And there's even some affordable options that are pretty damn solid. You need something out front. I don't think I've had a gun in a long time that I didn't have something out front to hang on to. I mean, it started there.
It started,
right?
started here.
And if you were anyone that was blessed to see the grip mod, or grip pod is what
Which
it
was a little bit bigger and wider than this. And
Yeah.
you hit a button and your bipods flew out the bottom of them.
It was like that if you took a real good, a little bigger, a little thicker out of it. I think I can't argue with what you said there. Everything holds true, and at this point, I think everybody would agree with that. You can dick with the what it is or who made it or so on and so forth, but the options themselves should be there, and you should work towards them over time, for sure.
I think we covered about everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if we tap dance around the questions we get, but
What about controls? What do you think about controls?
well, I would say this. You see, I shoot Type A guns and they got ambi safeties on them, and the first thing I do is remove that damn thing because I don't like anything when I'm on this side interrupting it. You can't see it right here, but just that little bit would bother me when I was shooting this gun. And well, how you manipulate it in support side? Well, I'm using this, so I don't really even need it because that's what I'm used to doing. But I think there is a lot of room for improvement on this little dude, which you guys have improved to make it a lot more. And I'm not against ambi controls, fellas. I'm really not. They just got to be set up properly.
Yeah, we spent some time redoing the controls on the ambi lower here. You have and it's not a MIM'd part. It's a billet part, so it's stronger. It's what it should be. It'll stand up to whatever you want it to be, but it's also the correct size. It's not too big either. I've seen a few of them out there.
Yeah.
It's a little aggressive. I do like ambi controls. I have a tendency to use my thumb to come on fire and roll it back with my trigger finger to come on safe. I think the ambi controls are natural to me because I'm of the email generation, not the fax. So we just it's what I am used to.
And I
It's
agree
just
with
where
that.
I
I'm
landed.
I think
I don't think there's a wrong answer. Ambi controls are the answer.
See, he's an ambi guy. I'm not. So the great thing about it is you guys offer both for the customers.
Right,
so
right.
we're good to go.
They're
We're good
both
to
out
go.
there, and again, I think if if there's one fire control that really fits you and you feel comfortable with, run it. As long as you're, be safe with it.
Gotcha.
We're good, man.
That's all we got for you, fellas. We'll see you next video.